Quick review of JJK chapter 260. We get the reveal of the Vibro Slap from Todo, and we now know that he did successfully save everyone from the domain expansion of Sukuna. I still wonder about Maki though. We get some pretty dope, fun, and Todo-esque fight choreography, and we also get the reveal of Vibro Slap's upgrade to Todo's Boogie Woogie. With the 15 swaps in a second, even Sukuna can't adapt to it or figure it out. He says it's almost impossible. And the more teammates he has, the even more crazier combinations he can go. We even see Todo do a triple fake. I think the fights are great in this chapter. I think Yuji is phenomenal, gets some big hits. Todo's the perfect support. Maybe even throws a crow in to help. Okay. At least it's something and played a big part in the ultimate triple finesse. Now as we get Yuji landing a Black Flash and literally ripping the insides of Sukuna out, we see Sukuna go to make the mudra sign for domain expansion, Gojo's hand sign that is. We see the panel of domain expansion in all black. Then we see Sukuna turn to the side, and who does he see? Who would you say that was? It was Gojo? It was Kashimo. It's Wee Wee on Miwa's shoulders. It's a cutout of Gojo. Okay, this will take forever. Let's just get to chapter 261 predictions. Now, where do I stand on the subject of is Gojo back? The theory and the stance I am taking currently going into chapter 261 is that Sukuna is suffering from the thing he warned Gojo about. Gojo started bleeding from the nose, and that's when Sukuna broke down the destroying that part of your brain and using RCT to refresh your curse technique, and how dangerous that could be as multiple times. I think Sukuna here almost cursed himself in a way, because back in chapter 236, you remember what he told Gojo? I'll never forget you as long as I live. I believe that the black panel that says domain expansion is in fact Sukuna calling upon the function. He goes to make the hand sign, but as he calls the function in the brain, that causes the brain hemorrhage, or he'll destroy his brain and fry himself out and die. Yeah, so I think Sukuna might have died here, and he's just seeing Gojo's ghost, kind of like Haibara and Shibuya with Nanami. Telling him I told you so, that his students were going to take care of him, and the fact that Sukuna almost cursed him to drag his spirit along for when he does pass, saying I'll never forget you as long as I live. This may be Sukuna's last chapter alive in one sense. I believe there's two things that can happen here. I personally don't see Sukuna as the type of person that would admit defeat and then call the merger to finish them off. Sukuna just, in my opinion, feels like he wants to fight the merger for himself. He doesn't really care what it does to anyone else, he just wants to fight something strong. So if that happened already, I don't know if Sukuna would be spiteful and petty to try and reenact the merger somehow, even though there's still Culling game players left. The second thing I was thinking about is, what if this is just the second to last battle of Sukuna? Now we're actually going to have to fight him in the inner domain, where Yuji is making connection to Megami's soul, or the space in between the cursed object and Megami's soul. I did say that was Sukuna's domain expansion panel, but there is a chance that it could be Yuji, and he is actually calling the domain expansion the space inside Sukuna and Megami. And that's how he's going to try and save Megami and deal with Sukuna once and for all. It'll be interesting if that happens, because then that's when we get, hopefully, we'll get Megami to bounce back now that Yuji's fighting next to him. With that, I'm thinking, because it's the scenario and it's the final fight, I think Megami will get his full realization of his technique and call his actual domain expansion, or maybe I guess it's already inside their innate domain, but full control of it and understanding. You're not meant to grasp the full depth, and they're endless in his mind, and maybe he needs to let it run free and stop trying to restrain it but let it go. Which will give the Chimera, that is the structure behind him in the Reggie fight, and I think that will actually refresh all of his Shikigami, so he'll be fighting with a full set, and Yuji will get his amp from the domain expansion. And there we have it, that'll be the final fight. When a shonen's at the very end of the story, I believe the suspension of disbelief has to raise a bit. That's just how the final saga ends in shonen manga. That doesn't necessarily have to be true all the time, of course. But that's it. That's my opinion on what will happen. It'll be interesting to see. I'm sorry if you were looking forward to Gojo coming back. But he is just the friendly neighborhood ghost. Ghost Joe. You could just do pottery with Gojo sitting behind you romantically. It's a pretty fair trade-off. But if he does come back, that goddamn Cyclops cat better bring Nagi Yoshino back. Just want to ask all the Gojo restorationists, how are you gonna ignore this panel? He's hoping it isn't a dream. His send-off is what he wanted. Someone was able to reach him and understand him. He had no regrets. If he says all these things and made peace with it, and he hopes it isn't a dream, why can't you let the man rest? That is just an honest, genuine question. Is it that you just like his character so much you want him back no matter what? You would want to take away from that beautiful moment of him seeing Geto, finally being able to have a conversation with him. We see how much it means to him. Just something to think about. I genuinely want to know what moves you so much to want him back when his send-off was so beautiful. That's the video. Thanks for staying for the whole thing. Stay normie, stay weeb, shit even in between is fine. Until next time, peace.